What's going on, everyone? Boulder here today with another mock review. We're looking at Tor'Nah, the Slayer, another member of the Splinter Clan. His backstory goes, well, in the earlier days of the Splinter Clan, when the Nameless One was just getting the Initiator to scope out some individuals to join, he had located this one, Tor'Nah. The Initiator saw his potential. He was a pretty troubled individual, not entirely mentally stable, and this caused a lot of issues in the town already that he lived in. But after the Initiator had scoped him out, the Nameless One used his power to manipulate Tor'Nah's mind and to turn him into a killing machine. And when a mob was chasing him down to kill him, to create justice for what he'd done, he escaped. They chased him down and chased, and they ran out of energy. He never did. He just kept going and going and going. And obviously he's alive now. An extremely deadly member of the Splinter Clan. So, now, let's take a look at this guy, which is obviously inspired by the Minotaur. I want to add, first though, I'm actually using the exact same body torso design that I used on Karahe, and I'll have a link on how to make this torso in the description below. So without further ado, let's get on with the review. First off, we'll take a look at the hooved feet. I borrowed elements of this design from a video by Ben Cossey. He had a tutorial on how to make feet, and I used some of the very basic parts of that, and then just essentially went off on my own from there to create this design I currently have. A neat little tip I'll give you, in parts like this where there's a bit of a gap on a piece, say like this, which is what I used, well, you can see I just used a very thin tire and just put that on there, and it filled it in quite nicely, I might add. Now here are the legs. It was kind of, I have to admit, it was a lot of fun making this mock because it really challenged me to fill in a lot of different areas. And it still looks good and is structurally sound. The lower legs aren't super complicated, but the upper are a bit more. And another one of the challenges was definitely color distribution and the shaping, and finding creative usage for different parts. That's always probably one of the most rewarding parts of mock building, is when you put something together and you go, that's probably not going to work, and then it does. That's a pretty cool feeling. Just sometimes literally throwing things together that you wouldn't expect to work, and then just go with it and see what happens. Yeah, sometimes that works, and it's really cool. Which happened on a few different things on this mock. Now, as we look at the torso, we've got this Rockshi foot. See, there's a cool usage for a part. You can use a Rockshi foot for armor plating, stuff like that. Those Hordika feet, those are really good for armor. Just add a bow rock eye in there and it kind of finishes out the shape. And you know me, I'm the Boulder. I always have to figure out some way to put some of these little spike elements and these little Wolverine claws, because I don't know why I'm so fascinated with those pieces, but I just love to add those in there for extra detail and stuff. And as for articulation on the torso, there's a bit of a hip swivel right here. And because of the torso's construction, there's a great range of motion in these shoulders. You can go way up weighed down as they typically are, which is really good. And depending on how flexible the arms are on your MOC, you can reach across like so. I just really love this design. It's so fun to put them in such dynamic poses. And plus, it makes for a very fun challenge on how to add armor around it and stuff. We'll take a look at from the side view. Tried my best to fill in. There's still some very small gaps here and there, but I wanted to still be able to have the twisting function on the hips. So I think it turned out as good as it could. A look at the back. Got a little bit more silver in the Keat orange back here. Now let's take a look at the arm construction. I just love including some of these classic Technic elements in these figures that I make, and this of course is no exception. And the upper arm's completely custom built, just like the upper legs, and also the middle portion of the leg as well. The lower portion is mostly just CCBS, and I sort of cheated to get this to stay on. I used a 3 long pin. And boom, you know, look at that. It lines up pretty good and fills in pretty good. But the only problem I had with this arm when I was making it was, again, that annoying gap that was right here on the wrist. I went, what can I do about that? And that is what inspired me. Oh yeah, I've seen other mockists use tires to fill in spots like that, so why the heck don't I try that? And it worked out great. And the hands, a design pretty frequently used. Except I just changed the thumb piece to something a little bit different. Now, here's a look at his blade. I thought that this just looked like the meanest looking blade I had in my collection of swords and weapons and such, and I went, okay, how am I going to put this on there? Extremely simple. Just used a Technic piece and a little axle. Boom. Did the job. And of course, again, another signature of mine, had to use some of these pieces. And now for the head. This took a little while to figure out. I went through multiple masks to figure out what would go well with this MOC. And I stumbled upon this one in my box of Bionicle and Hero Factory masks. And it just worked so good. These horn pieces, I originally had something different, but then I found these, just, again, stuck them on there just to see how it would look, and I was like, dude, okay, not bad. So, that worked out. So, there we have it. Thus concludes my review. Boy, it was great to get back into MOC making. And I'd like to reiterate, sometimes just putting pieces together when you don't know what to do will work out. Like I said, that happened on a number of occasions on this thing. I just tried, I don't know, 3 or 4 different parts on something, and I just couldn't quite figure it out. Slapped something on, I was like, okay, this'll do for temporary, and I went, you know, that actually works really good. So there you go. However you feel like doing it, all that matters, enjoy the experience of the MOC building. And then when you're happy with it, share it with others to inspire them. So, that's all I've got for you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for watching the video. Take care.